Hey, what's going on, homies? So you're getting ready to PCS to Fort Cavazos, or you're getting ready to relocate to Central Texas. Today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be discussing my experience PCSing to Fort Hood at the time, now Fort Cavazos, and the timeline and checklist that I used, along with what I've implemented for my clients since becoming a realtor. I'm Matt Dick, realtor with Vista Real Estate. And if you like this type of content and you want to see more of it, please hit that subscribe button somewhere. I tend to make a video every week. I did get sick there for the past 2 weeks, and so I haven't been able to make a video. So look forward to moving forward a video every week. Let's dive into this. Checklist, time front line, all the fun stuff. I got my notes just so I don't miss anything, so don't hold that against me. But what we want to do first, instead of doing showings and figuring all that out, is we need to figure out a timeline. Let's say your report date or your work start date is August 10th, but you're gonna be here, say, July 27th. That's gonna give us almost 60 days to work the process to find you a home. The no later than date for us being under contract, I would say, would be towards the end of June, 27th, 28th, somewhere in there. Typically, lenders can get something closed within 20 to 27 days, so we have a little bit of wiggle room there. It might work out for us that we close the 28th or 29th versus the 27th. You start work August 10th, and then you're gonna be boots on the ground the 27th with you and your stuff and your family, just depending on how it all rolls out. So from there, what we need to figure out is what we wanna do you getting here in the closing. So if we decide, or you decide that you're gonna be here the 27th for sure, you need to figure out if you want to do the closing before you get here with a mobile notary at your current location, or if you want to do the closing the day you get here. In reality, it's probably going to be the day after, so the 28th of June or July. And there's a lot of pros and cons to both of those. So say you end up closing on the property the week before. By the time you get here, the pro would be is that you can immediately move in. The power and water is already turned on because we've already gotten all that handled. And you can go right into moving your stuff or downloading just enough stuff to where you can function in the house. There's the other side of that where you get here the 27th, but we don't close until the 28th. So you can roll in, we can do our final walkthrough, you can get everything set up that day or the next day after closing. Pretty easy transition on that backside, but we need to figure out what you're gonna do because that will impact our timeline. We got the backside figured out. We're gonna close on the 28th. You're gonna be here on the 27th. Everything's white as rain. So the next thing we need to figure out is make sure you got everything you need on the front end. So either getting with a lender that you trust, whether it's a bank or a national lender, or if you'd much rather use one of my local lenders that should be able to get you squared away and are a lot more communicative. Once we get the pre-approval, then we can start looking into home sizes. I recommend we do that first, because if you're pre-approved for $400,000, but you've been looking at $500,000 homes, then, I mean, that's just gonna put a damper in everything. I'll do a search. I just need to know how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, rough square footage you're looking for, size of the lot, whether it's 1/3 of an acre, 5 acres, and then just a rough location where you wanna live. I have a client right now that's getting ready to PCS here, actually, at the end of July, and he's looking for a 5-bedroom or more, 2.5 bath or more on 1/3 of an acre with 2,600 square feet or more. And he wants to be within 45 minutes of Fort Cavazos. So, and he'd like to live somewhere close to a hospital since his wife's a nurse. So I recommended we look in the Temple Belton, maybe the Salado area, potentially Nolanville, Harker Heights, because there is a hospital in Harker Heights. And then she may be able to get hired on there or at Baylor Scott and White. I shot them 15 to 20 homes. They whittled it down to 3 homes. And then what I do from there is I'll go out there, I'll video the home, I'll do one solid walkthrough anywhere between 8 minutes up to 15 minutes, and then I'll upload that to the back end of my YouTube page and send them the link so that they can watch it as many times as they want. Once they get it whittled down to a couple of different homes, then at that point I'll go and do a FaceTime or Zoom call walkthrough and kind of point out the discrepancies I see. And then if you decide that, hey Matt, this is the house we want, then from there what I'll do is I'll turn around and we'll submit an offer. The end game is to make sure that you hopefully get your earnest and option money back if you're using a VA. If you're not using a VA and you're using an FHA conventional, then hopefully you're only bringing your down payment to the closing table. So I want to make sure all your closing costs get paid for, you're getting a home warranty, the seller's paying title policy and survey, and that hopefully the seller or the other broker's paying my commission fee. Once we get that all negotiated out, then during the option period, what we'll end up doing is we'll do all the inspections and stuff. And once we're through the option period is where I recommend, and what I've done in the past is that's when I'll go down to the moving company, and that's when I'll set up the movers for this day with anticipation of, well, it's gonna take them a week, 2 weeks to get my stuff there. So 2 weeks before I'm supposed to be closing or I'm getting to here, then that's when I want them to pick up my stuff. After option period's over, I'll set up movers or I'll go down on transportation and get everything figured out. Once we're through the option period and we're through getting all the movers and everything set up, and then from that point moving forward, it's just getting with myself or the lender or me and the lender getting together and making sure all the documentation's done. Once the appraisal's in and we're clear to close, and then magic, we're done. The process I have established now is a mix of what I went through PCSing from duty station to duty station, and a mixture of what I've tried to streamline to make buying a home out of state as easy and as simple as possible, so that way you have a stress-free transition from where you're currently at to the new place. And then that's pretty much it on how I handle my checklist and timeframes for my out-of-state clients. There's gonna be hiccups, but being able to make it easy and have solutions instead of causing more problems means less stress for you guys. If you have any questions or you'd like more information, feel free to shoot me a phone call or a text or an email, or go over to my website and register. All that information should be down below somewhere. If you're looking to buy a home in Central Texas or sell your home in Central Texas, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to help you. If you have any questions or need anything VA related, please reach out as well. Or you can reach out to the Texas Veterans Commission. If you watch a couple videos back, all their information's in there as well. And then, as always, be safe. The world's kind of crazy.